In this video, we're going to be reviewing NTW-20 from Girls Frontline. She is a 1/12 action figure from Hasuki's Pocket Art Series, and the 11th in the line, PA011. Now don't get me wrong, Hasuki does some great stuff, but they also manage to fall short a lot of the time. And the issues with this figure are honestly pretty annoying, so I hope they do sort themselves out for Klukai and Florence. That said, there are still some very good reasons to pick up NTW-20, so let's see if she's worth getting. If you want to grab her or other figures, I'll try to have some affiliate links down below. Out of the box, there are 3 layers of trays, instructions, pretty basic stuff. The bottom tray has some stand stuff. The middle tray has her gun and related accessories. And of course, the upper tray has our main girly. There are some plastic bits around her head. And here she is. Now, this is not the first time that I've taken her out of the box, and her head actually fell off the first time, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. NTW is in a pretty typical schoolgirl or sailor outfit, which is mainly black and pink. From the head, she's got a little hat, which looks fine, it's just kind of stuck on there. The face is done well, nicely detailed, and she does have an earpiece attached to each faceplate. The pink on the hair looks excellent. Typical Husky sculpting and shading. It is nice and sharp. She has very long back hair. It is split up into 3 sections and they can be moved around, which kind of causes an issue later on. Her top is well made and the details look good. Nothing too fancy, but I guess that's what her design is like. There is a little blue ribbon thing, and she does have some elbow pads, which you can take off if you want. Speaking of take off, of course we'll take a little peek underneath later on. Ab sculpt is also very nice, and she is on the new Husky body like the Cat Maid, which means she does have a squishy chest and ab section. Her chest is also a little bit larger than Cat Maid's. Her skirt is nice and simple with a pink line on it. And the stockings with knee pads look good too. So everything looks pretty good so far, right? Well, there are some questionable design choices that make her not so great to mess around with, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. For accessories, NTW-20 has a stand base, an arm, and a claw. She has 3 faces total. By default, she's got a blank, neutral kind of expression. Looks good. She's got a shy, nervous kind of face, which also looks very nice. Very cute. And thirdly, she's got a winking kind of face, which also looks nice. And of course, the faces do have movable eyes. She also has a front hair swap to take off the hat, which I guess works. Would have been cool if it was a magnet, but I guess that's a bit too fancy. Not like it's a common thing, and not like some $20 blind boxes have them. And also be careful of her earpieces when swapping faces. One more thing to note is that the front hairpiece was loose, so I had to dispay it up. For hands, she has 6 pairs total, all nicely detailed. By default, she's got fisty hands. She's got widespread open hands. She's got holdy hands. Some trigger finger hands, bigger holdy or grabby hands, and safety trigger finger hands, or pointy hands if you want. Now her gun is definitely one of the highlights of the figure. This anti-material rifle is very nicely detailed and has some good playability as well. Just some close-up shots here. And this is all the other related stuff. The magazine looks pretty good with a painted bullet. Just be careful when you pop it in. There are some fresh and I guess used bullets. And there is a swappable handle thing, which also of course be careful when swapping them out. What's more is that on the gun itself, the handle at the top moves. The bipod can fold up and down. This little thing also moves, I'm not sure what to call it, but you can pull it back. Be very careful because it is quite thin. And you can even load bullets into it, which I think is a pretty cool detail. All in all, I think they put quite a lot of effort into the gun, which is pretty cool. And she can hold it quite well too. Once again, just be careful because it can be a little bit fiddly. Take your time and it should be good. Now, speaking of fiddly, here's what's wrong with her. She does have a common issue, I think, that her head is pretty loose. It doesn't actually pop in properly like some of the other Husky girls. I believe that's due to how they designed it to leave allowance for the long articulated hair. The socket isn't exactly deep enough for the ball to go fully in. So instead they've added some rubbery stuff in hopes of holding it in place, which doesn't really do a good job at all. Pretty unfortunate oversight. Also, check this out. What the heck are these feet? I get that it's the character design, and the stockings need to go into the shoe, and a toe joint is good for shooting poses, but it just doesn't work well in practice. It makes it very hard for her to stand on her own, and the shoes can slip off quite easily. And well, if you want bare feet, then too bad. But what do you think? Are these deal breakers, or am I just being fussy? Now let's check out how she moves, and of course we'll take a look under her outfit afterwards. Articulation head will turn decently when it doesn't want to pop off. Nods like that with just the top of the head. About that much going backwards. Of course there is bottom of the neck movement as well, but is a little bit stiff on my copy. Tilts. She can get a good tilt like that. Hair strands are on ball joints, so they can just kind of move and turn in whichever way makes sense as long as there is allowance. It's okay, but doesn't add too much. Arms raised to the sides, like that. It's a good raise. Head popped off again, of course. Going forwards and up, just be careful of the soft goods. But she does have good range going up. Forward reach. Something like that, so it's pretty good. She does have a bicep rotation in there. Double elbows, which bend very, very well, like that. Wrists, pretty standard stuff. They'll go up, down, rotate. Pretty good. Chest is squishy, of course. Tummy is also a little bit. Upper torso rotation, can rotate all the way if you want it to. Tilts, very nicely. Other way. Bending forwards, bounces back a little bit. Bending backwards, very, very good. Little bit of hip movement, so hip bending forwards but will bounce back. It's kind of what the tummy looks like. Backwards, I guess all the way backwards with the hip and the upper torso. Very good. Tilt, don't think there's any. It's pretty much just backwards and forwards for the hip area. Side split, excellent. Something like that, of course. Nothing wrong at the back there. Kicking upwards, very good. About that much, kind of bounces back. Kicking backwards, a little bit to the side there. There is a thigh rotation in there. Double knees, which bend like that. Feet will go down. Feet will go up. Rotate. You can pivot it. And there is a toe joint. Range is pretty good. Similar to the Cat Maid and much better than the old Husky bodies. So she can potentially be a good swap for the others if you want to upgrade them. In terms of her body, Husky usually makes some pretty good soft goods which are easily removable. But not this time, unfortunately. As you can see from the back, there is no Velcro or anything on the shirt. So I imagine you'll have to pop her arms off first and somehow wriggle it off the top of her head. What we can do easily is take a little peek. And surprisingly, there doesn't seem to be any staining on her chest. And yes, she is a little bit pointy. Thankfully there is a velcro for the skirt. And she does have some safety panties to protect from staining. But I think the stockings are also okay and haven't rubbed off onto her legs. So she should be a good candidate for head swaps and body donos for the other Husky girls. After messing around with her a little bit more, it's actually a really good body. It seems to feel a lot smoother than the Cat Maid's body, and reminds me of Animester silicone, which is pretty high quality I reckon. Might even be worth it just for the body. For height, NTW-20 is about 15 centimeters or 6 inches tall. Overall, I think she had potential to be an excellent figure, but her QC and design oversight, whatever you want to call it, kind of really take away from the experience. This is especially the case if you like to pose and move your figures about. However, if you usually just pose your figures every once in a while and just leave them on display, then the goofy design choices probably won't affect you that much. Just be sure to use a stand. That said, she does look great though, and the gun is pretty cool. And of course, she does great body swaps. Hopefully Husky can lock in for Klukai and Florence and do them justice. If you are looking to grab some figures, I'll have some affiliate links down below. And do check out my Instagram and other socials at NOGOODFIGURES for figure news and stuff like that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.